If you are working in Poland, you might be missing out on free money. Yes, free money. It's called PPK, the Employee Capital Plan. While it is meant to help you save for retirement, here's a twist. You don't actually have to wait until retirement to benefit from this. Stick around, in this video I tell you everything you need to know about the PPK. PPK, Pracownicze Plany Kapitałowe, for English, Employee Capital Plans. It's a long-term saving program introduced by the Polish government in 2019. Its main goal is to address one of the Poland's long-standing issues, low retirement savings. What do I mean by the low retirement savings? Currently, all the state pensions are paid through ZUS, Zakład Ubezpieczeń Społecznych, the government agency responsible for social insurance. ZUS operates on a transfer system, meaning that the contributions you make today are immediately used to pay pensions for current retirees. In return, when you retire, pensions for you will be financed by the contributions of younger generations. While this system functions today, Poland's aging population means that in the future, there may not be enough working people to provide adequate pensions for a growing number of retirees. That's why PPK was introduced to address this problem. PPK is available for all employees in Poland. Every employee under 55 years old is being auto-enrolled, but since it's voluntary, you can opt out at any time if you want. But spoiler alert, opting out is not a smart move. Contributions into PPK are combined from three sources. You, employee contribution, 2% of your salary, plus up to additional 2% voluntarily if you want. Your employer, 1.5% of your salary, plus up to 2.5% voluntarily. The state contribution, 250 zł as a welcome contribution, plus 240 zł every year. Money contributed to PPK is invested in the capital market, mostly in the Polish stock exchange and Polish government bonds, but also in international stocks and bonds. This diversification aims to grow the value of your savings over time and beat inflation. Money are being invested by the financial institutions handling PPK, like BNP Paribas, Santander, or Goldman Sachs, just to name a few. What's important is that you cannot choose which institution you save money with. This depends on your employer. PPK invests your money in so-called life cycle funds, which automatically adjust the investment strategy based on your age. The closer you are to the retirement, the more conservative the portfolio becomes, meaning higher share of bonds and fewer stocks, which aims to reduce the volatility of such fund. How much money are we really talking about? Let's look at the example, shall we? Let's say you earn 5,000 zł gross monthly. After paying all the taxes, your take-home salary is 3,738 zł. If you enroll into PPK, you put in 2%, 100 zł. Your employer adds 1.5%, that's 75 zł, but that's your additional income, so you pay about 9 zł tax on it. So into your PPK actually goes 66 zł. Because of this, your take-home salary will be 100 zł lower. But in your PPK account, you will save 166 zł. That's 66% return instantly without lifting a finger. Over the whole year, that's 1,200 zł of your contributions, plus 792 zł of employer contributions, and 240 zł state bonus. That's total 2,232 zł in your PPK account. In this case, I don't add any potential capital gains. Your take-home salary over the year is just 1,200 zł less than without PPK. So you are still 1,032 zł better with PPK than without. Similar calculations you can run for other salaries, but overall, no matter if your income is higher or lower, PPK always gives you a boost to your savings. Now the questions. What are the rules if you want to withdraw your savings? Since PPK aims to resolve future low pension problem, government encourages people to keep their money invested long term. The most advantageous in terms of tax is when you turn the age of 60. Then you can withdraw 25% of your savings as one-off payment. The remaining 75% of the savings will be paid in 120 monthly transfers. So 10 years systematic withdrawal, with the option of increasing the number of transfers if you wish. Withdrawal of all accumulated funds under this option will be exempt from the capital gains tax, meaning tax-free. If you need to withdraw your money before turning 60, you can still do it without a need to pay any capital gains tax in case of serious illness of you, your spouse or child. In this case, you can withdraw up to 25% savings tax-free. Or, in case when you take a mortgage for real estate, then you can withdraw even 100% of your savings to use it for down payment. However, to be exempt from the capital gains tax, you'll need to return this money after 15 years into PPK account. You can use this option only if you are under 45 years old. What if you don't return this money into PPK after 15 years? In this case, you'll just need to pay capital gains tax, but you pay this tax only from the amount you haven't returned. Let's say you have 110,000 zloty in your PPK account, from which 100,000 are all of the contributions, and 10,000 are the capital gains, the entire amount you used to pay for a down payment. Now let's say 15 years later, you manage to return into your PPK account only half of this amount, 55,000 zloty. In this case, you need to pay capital gains tax only from 5,000 zloty of capital gains you have not returned. Today, capital gains tax in Poland is 19%. That means after 15 years, you would need to pay 950 zloty capital gains tax. And now the question, what if you don't meet any of the two special conditions above and you haven't turned 60 yet? Can you withdraw your money? Yes, you can redeem your money from PPK anytime you want. In this case, however, there are small penalties involved. 30% of the contributions paid by your employer will be transferred to your ZUS account, so those will increase a bit your future pensions from ZUS. From the rest 70% of the employer contributions, you will need to pay capital gains tax. Of course, only in case the investment was profitable. 100% of your contributions will be paid out to you, but again, from those you'll need to pay capital gains tax. All of the state bonuses, 250 zloty welcome bonus and 240 zloty annual bonuses are lost. If we put this into our earlier example, you earn 5,000 gross monthly. After 1 year of savings, assuming no capital gains, you'll have 1,200 zloty of your contributions, plus 792 zloty of employer contributions, plus 240 zloty state bonus gives you. Total, 2,232 zloty in your PPK account. In this case, I don't add any potential capital gains. If you decide to withdraw this, 100% of your contributions will be paid out to you. From employer contribution, 30%, that means 237 zloty, will be transferred to your ZUS account. 70%, 554 zloty, is for you. 240 state bonus is gone. That's total 1,754 zloty you get. So as you can see, even if you decide to early withdraw money from PPK, it's still better than not joining PPK at all. As if you decided not to join PPK at all, your total net home salary after 1 year is 44,858 zloty. But if you were enrolled in PPK and withdraw your savings, in total you get 45,412 zloty, 554 zloty better. So doesn't matter on your personal circumstances. Seems PPK is always a good option. Doesn't matter if you want to save for retirement, want to save for down payment when buying a house or apartment, or you just want some extra cash by using regular withdrawals. You always win. The only scenario in which you can lose if you would be withdrawing your money during a major market crash. That of course can always happen, as with all of the investments. Apart from the benefits I already mentioned, I see two more big reasons why PPK is a great product. First, you are enrolled automatically. You don't need to do anything to start saving. Just don't opt out. But remember, the Polish government really wants people to save extra for retirement. That's why even if you opt out, every 4 years you will be automatically enrolled again. For example, if you opt out recently, the next enrollment will be in 2027. Second, the money is invested automatically every month. And that's a huge advantage. When people try to invest on their own, they often don't have a plan. We try to time the market, buy when prices are low and sell when they are high. But in reality, it rarely works. When the prices are high, we wait for the crash that often never comes. So we end up buying even more expensive stocks. Then when the market drops, we panic and sell, only to watch the market bouncing back without us. With PPK, that problem doesn't exist. It invests for you every month, no matter what the market is doing. Over the long term, this strategy, called dollar cost averaging, usually beats trying to time the market. What are the cons of PPK? First negative thing about PPK is quite high fees charged by the funds. In theory, according to the bill about PPK, the financial institution which offers PPK can charge maximum 0.5% management fee per year plus 0.1% performance fee if they outperform a benchmark. This sounds great, But those companies charge additional fees like transaction fees, deposit fees, and many more. Michał from blog jakoszczędzaśpieniądze.pl did a great job collecting data on the total fees of each fund. On average, the yearly fee is a bit more than 1%, and that's not such a great number anymore. That's because high fees can seriously cut your long-term returns. If you want to see how, check out my video about stock investing, in which I show how 2% annual fee can eat up as much as 50% of your profits over time. Another downside of PPK is that you can't pick the exact financial instrument your money goes into. The only choice you have is how aggressive or conservative your fund is. The most aggressive funds in PPK can invest up to 80% in stocks and at least 20% in bonds. The safest funds, on the other hand, are required by the government to hold at least 85% in bonds and maximum 15% in stocks. If you don't pick a fund yourself, you'll be assigned one automatically based on your age. The younger you are, the more aggressive the fund you'll get. And as you get older, the institution managing your account will gradually move your money into safer funds with more bonds. The third con is the home bias, as most of your funds are invested in Polish stocks and bonds. The video about PPK says that the value of the foreign stocks and foreign ETFs cannot exceed 30% of the total value of the fund. Also, total value of financial instrument denominated in currencies other than Polish zloty cannot exceed 30%. In practice, it means PPK have to invest at least 70% of money in Polish stocks, Polish bonds, and Polish deposits. From the government's point of view, it makes perfect sense. It's better if this money is invested in the Polish companies, helping the local economy grow. But for investors, it may not be the best option. For example, even though the WIG20 index, the 20 largest Polish companies, has recently been one of the best performing indexes in the world, over the long term, it has underperformed compared to the S&P 500 or the global ETFs. So investors might get better returns by having more of their money invested outside of Poland. But these are just the small details that, in my opinion, don't change the fact that PPK is beneficial for the employees. Personally, I've been enrolled since very beginning in 2019, and the results I see are really solid. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Will the Polish government steal your PPK savings? If you have talked to the Polish friends, you might have heard, I don't join PPK because the government will take my money, just like they did with OFE. So what do they mean? OFE was an earlier program where part of your pension contributions were invested in the market. In 2013, the government decided to shut it down, and a big portion of the money was transferred to ZUS, which doesn't store real money. ZUS is just a promise to pay pension when you retire. That decision really hurt public trust in pension savings. But here's the key difference. In the PPK law, it's written very clearly that the money in PPK is private and it belongs to you. You can withdraw it at any time. OFE never had such a guarantee, nor had the option to withdraw money before retirement. Also, still isn't fully accurate. The money from OFE was transferred to ZUS, and people whose funds were moved actually ended up with higher pension than they would have without OFE savings. And to be clear, I'm not saying government did something good by moving those funds. For example, OFE savings could be inherited by your family in case something happened to you. ZUS accounts don't allow inheritance, so when people say government stole it, they are partially correct. But that's enough about OFE. Let's come back to PPK. I've heard that in some companies, employers or HR teams try to discourage employees from joining PPK, saying things like, aren't you afraid the government will take it? Or, it's risky, you could lose money. But remember, PPK actually costs your employer extra, since they have to contribute 1.5% of your salary, so it's in their interest to discourage participation. Keep this in mind next time you hear negative things about PPK from your employer. If you want to learn more about PPK, you can check its official website. Most basic information you will find on English version of the page. If you will use the Polish version, you can also check out the PPK calculator, which can simulate how much money you might get after turning 60 if you join PPK. You can play with some numbers to see what you might expect. If you use Google Translate extension in your browser, you can easily translate this to English too. And that's it. Let me know what you think about PPK. Are you enrolled in, or you decided to opt out? I hope you didn't, but if you did, you know what to do now. If you are interested in other government programs that help you to save for retirement, check out my video about IKE and IKZE accounts. With them, you can save tens of thousands of zloty on taxes. Thanks for watching. I'm Piotr from MyInvest, and I see you in the next one.